while back, I talked about a screw-drive RC rover I was designing with the goal of being able to remotely control it over the internet. It'll have a solar panel on top to charge it up during the day, and then an IR light and a webcam so I can control it at night. And after a couple weeks of 3D printing, the chassis is finally fully assembled. It's really hard to get a sense of scale with just the 3D model, so with this clip here, you can see the actual size of this thing. Now, there's no drivetrain or electronics mounted to this thing yet, but you can see that the base platform, including the treads and the motor mount, is all assembled. And if you did watch the first video, there's been quite a few changes since the original version. Most noticeably the deck. In the original design, I was just going to have a 2x8 plank of wood, but I got very worried about exposure to the elements. I was planning on applying some waterproof coating to it, but even then I was worried it was going to start warping and absorb water. So I switched the design so that the deck is fully 3D printed just like the rest of it. Split it into two halves and sandwiched together with a massive bracket in the middle and a whole bunch of bolts. Every single 3D part on this is made out of PETG, so hopefully it'll stand up to the elements. Seeing everything actually start to come together into reality from just a concept has been a very great feeling. All the bearings, the tread rod, and the joiner pins that connect the two halves of the tread together, seeing all of that start to actually work. Now, by no means am I new to 3D printing, but when it comes to designing something like this is my first time. I put a lot of thought into the design for this thing, even things that might not be noticeable at first glance, like the rotation of the treads designed so that in a forward motion, the rotation of the tread, if it touches up against the wall, or if the RC is listing to one side, the rotation of the tread actually counter-rotates the deck back down flat. When it comes to designing something like this from an engineering perspective, especially when it comes to all the electronics that will get piled onto this thing, I admittedly don't have an idea of what I'm doing. I mean, I've built electric skateboards and similar projects, but this is a whole other level. I tried to design this rover so that the overall design is pretty squat for a low center of mass, so that it's very stable and really reduces the risk of rollover, especially if it's going to be out there unattended. With just the body, it might look fine, but remember, I have to add all of the electronics and stuff on it, and with the motors, those wound up sitting up pretty high, and those things are heavy, so that really raises the center of mass a little bit. The belts are HTD 435 5M belts, and I underestimated how high the motors had to sit, and I didn't want to have the motors sticking out to the side in order to lower the center of mass, because then those would protrude sideways past the treads, and I didn't want any clearance issue with those. The only thing that should be making contact from the sides is the tread. I'm really trying to reduce any chance of this thing getting hung up on anything. There's two particular reasons I went for a screw drive RC vehicle. I've talked about it. The first is because I find screw drives really interesting. I want to see if I can make it work. And number two is because I actually want to make this thing amphibious if possible. It's really just a matter of if this thing floats. And with that in mind, I made the treads as hollow as possible. I only gave them a 5% infill, and all the other parts are just a 25% infill. Later on in this video, I will do a float test. One of my biggest concerns with all of the bolts holding the deck together and mating the tread arms to the deck is all of the bolts underhanging. I was worried that if they hung out too low, that was going to create snags on grass and weeds and whatever else. And so I tried my hardest to minimize the amount of bolts sticking through. By no means is it flush, but I hopefully did a good enough job that I've mitigated how much this thing's going to snag on stuff. On the front of the treads, I tried to make the tread cover perfectly round so that the front of the treads, any obstacles that hit get deflected around it into the tread screws. The idea is that anything that it strikes gets ramped underneath and immediately gets bit into by the tread in order to keep pushing forward. At the rear, you'll notice that the tread cover is much smaller. You'll have to excuse the one purple motor mount. I kind of ran out of black PETG. And the reason it's so much smaller is to try and keep that space as clear and open as possible to prevent debris from getting wedged in there up against the belt, something that I do have issues with electric skateboards, which this design takes inspiration from. In the future, it'll be really cool to experiment with different tread designs. Like maybe one could be optimized for use on the water. Maybe one could be optimized for use in the snow. In the meantime, this specific design is the one I settled on. Hopefully a good middle ground between land use with sand, snow, dirt, grass, and water use. Oh, and I don't think I've mentioned it at all in any of my videos yet. I am planning on open sourcing this project. Anyone who wants to build their own can. I'll actually leave a link down below to the version 1 of all of these files and a little readme. But do keep in mind there may be issues that I haven't found yet. And now the important question. Does this thing float? Let's go find out. All right, float test. All right, I can work with that. Oh, that's cool. I can see the treads move as I pull it through the water. Oh, the other tread's not spinning because the belt is kind of stuck on it. There. Now both treads should spin freely. So if I pull this, yep. All right, how about that? She floats, and it sits a lot higher on the waterline than I thought it would. Now, obviously it doesn't have all the electronics and the motors on it, but just the bare body, doing that 5% infill in the treads, I think that's doing me a world of wonder with flotation. Look at how high that sits. It's like right dead center in the center of the treads. That is so sick. So the original plan for this thing was to make it amphibious, so it could do water as well as land. And I think that plan's gonna work out. Wow, that float test turned out way better than I expected. I expected to sit a lot lower in the water, but that gives me a lot of breathing room to add in all of the extra weight of the motors and the electronics. Now that the body's all built out, the next step for me is the expensive part, adding the electronics and drivetrain. I'm a little bit divided on what I want to do for my next bit. At first, I was going to add the motors and then go right to like a Pixhawk setup for direct remote control. But since Raspberry Pi 02Ws are still relatively inexpensive, and that'll be the main brain of this thing and needed for the remote operation capability, I kinda am thinking about getting one of those and starting to play around with that next. So do me a favor, you guys let me know what you kind of want to see for the next step. Do you want to see this thing start to actually move around on RC power, or do you want to see the software start to get developed for the remote operation of it calling home every couple hours and whatnot? And if you want to catch up on the rest of this project, check out this playlist.